and go over here and look at audit trail, it shows you made some sort of an adjustment. Now, that may be where he matched up the fuel.
Yep.
Hang on a second. I'm talking to Robin, too. That may be where he just manually matched up the fuel. The people at ProMiles, Robin acquainted them with this and said, what happened? And they're like, well, the audit trail shows that Alex Diaz did this. Well, now what you need to do is go back to Brad and say, no, Alex matched up the fuel. Alex didn't change these miles. Alex, did you go in here and change this to 4,251 miles in New York?
No.
No. How about that? So you go back to Brad and say, Brad. Say, no, you're not throwing this back on these guys. Something's wrong with your system. Because when we look over here at these GPS pings, look at these suckers. How did that truck hit that many locations in a day?
No.
It didn't. You need to show that to Brad. You need to say, Brad, something's up in here. Something's up with the data that you're pulling from PeopleNet. Something's up with your GPS. There could be, just listen to me talking to Robin again, okay?
Yeah.
Remember in the past when Tony has told us they had the ping set up on the left side of the road when it should be on the right side of the road?
Right, and they picked it somewhere.
And it picked up, like, in another state that we were not even in or some crap like that. So you do a screenshot of this right here and send it to Brad. So I just talked to Alex. Audit Trail is where he manually matched up fuel. Not all of these thousands of miles on all these trips.
Right.
Yeah. Because
if you guys are looking now down through here, look at all these thousands of miles.
That's what I was saying.
You've got this truck showing almost 93,000 miles right there and 135 mpg.
Yep.
No.
All right. Whenever Robin sends you out emails and she says, check your gaps, here's the mpgs on this truck, something's wrong, that's what you need to be looking for. That's the kind of stuff you're looking at. Do they know how to run the reports?
I have no idea.
Do you know how to run the MPG reports and the gaps reports? Do you do that?
Could you just show me just to make sure that, whatever it is that you're looking for. Go ahead.
If you go to this run reports.
Let me email Brad quick.
What are you doing?
I will email Brad right back.
Okay, Robin's going to go ahead and email Brad.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Brad's answering back, so Robin wants to email him, the guy at ProMiles, about that. So while he is paying attention to our emails. So you want to go over here and you want to run an error report.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You're probably not going to have all of these options. See, we have all these options because we can do all kinds of reporting that you guys don't do.
Yep.
But then you're going to go over here and we have odometer gaps. Or you can run units with an MPG, and we usually change this because we think 3 is a little low, and we do this like a 4 to 7 gap, okay? Now I'm going to have to pick your fleet out over here because I see everybody's fleet. See this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's fleet. So we want to go down here and just find your fleet. And we're going to run that report. Now I'm running the MPG report. I'm also going to run the odometer gaps. That way, if you were to have gaps in between trips on any of your trucks, I don't think I'm going to find any because we're so early. A lot of times you guys don't have any kind of gaps, but we'll see that when we go back to when the reports generate. Go in the report queue here. And it'll take them a few minutes because you got a pretty good sized fleet. But I'll show you when those reports pop up. It's just like, it's going to give us MPGs. We set that parameter just in from 4 to 7. If it's anything less than 4 or more than 7, it's going to show up on that MPG list.
Gotcha.
Just like that truck we were just looking at has the 140 MPGs.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be one that'll show up on there. Okay, here we got one that's 8.6. It'll show up on there. And all that is you take that, but you go down through here and look. All this office fuel isn't in yet. So that truck's probably good to go. And I think when we run those reports, you can even set it if you want it to run by quarter. See, I run it by the quarter that we're working in because we'll roll from month to month. Where you guys might just set it for the month you're working in, you can actually just go in here and select a month.
Yep.
Like if you wanted just July and did that and run the report, and it's only going to give you whatever applies to July.
So in the event we do find a mile discrepancy, how do we actually correct that? Now
we're going to show you that when we got to find one. It'd be real hard to explain that without actually having one to show you.
So the one that we had, we ain't going to correct that because that's something on the ProMiles side, right?
That's something to do with ProMiles. Don't touch it. Anytime you see anything that exaggerated, 10,000 miles in a day, you need to say, Robin, something's wrong here.
Gotcha.
So what's normal? What's a normal out of sequence? 50, 100?
You see this right here?
Yeah.
This is on truck 315142. And it looks like you have a gap here. The report's not generated yet, but let's see what it is. 286. 019.9. And we got 285. 285,954.4. Okay, it shows a 65.5 mile gap between when this ended and when this started. Now, the thing you have to determine is that missing miles? Did that truck get taken to a Penske shop across town and back? Was something wrong with it and them working on it and get out and tool up down the road in it 2 or 3 times before you got it back? What happened?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
In the event that does happen, what do we got to reclass those or something?
Nope. In the event that does happen, you don't do anything.
Oh, okay.
You leave it alone. And you can even go in the comments over here on this trip and you can put gap due to Penske repairs being done,
Okay.
not trip miles.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know. And when, believe it or not, when Robin is doing these things and she's sending stuff back and forth to you guys, she goes in here and she'll click on this and she'll look and see what's going on. She'll go over here. Well, they've not made any comments. Let me go ask them.
You're right. Okay.
You do that, right?
So-
she looks at these truck notes. She'll even go up here where it's got like to edit the truck and go over to comments, and there may be a comment that she put in there she forgot about and says, "Oh, the truck was down for 4 days. They've been running a rental. This is probably a result of the truck being in the shop and work being done." Okay, we're good.
Okay, so you leave it alone. Do you see the blue tab where it says add spread odometer?
Yes.
Do we do anything with that?
Does anybody use that?
I've never used it.
That's because that's
That's what Brad said you all have been using. Isn't it?
yes, that's what I've been using.
To do what? To attach your fuel?
No, all I've been doing, if I saw any discrepancies in there, that's what I was told. I go in that, if you click on it, and that says view report, and then I believe you can generate preview, and then at the bottom after you generate the preview, it'll let you accept if you want the changes, and that's what I've been doing. It's scroll down, and then I accept save trips. That's what I've been doing.
No. Jamie tell you all to do that?
Yep. So maybe he was doing it, but maybe he was thought wrong. Cause this reports Justin was the one who was doing it. Jamie was not necessarily in charge of this. I think he kind of either somebody told him or he probably misunderstood somebody. So when he passed this,
If you wanted to close this gap right here, if you check that day's trip of that truck and you're like, it didn't report enough miles. That driver actually ran 400 and blah, blah miles. And you go down here and you look over here at this and you go, da. Oh, yeah, he still needs another 65 Massachusetts miles. You had a row, you put Massachusetts in here, you put 65.5 miles in there. When you hit validate and save, it's going to close that gap.
gotcha.
It's going to close that gap. That little yellow bar right there will disappear because then that ending odometer will be that beginning odometer.
Got it.
You never take miles away. Don't go in and minus miles because sometimes your little antenna will hiccup and you'll get a backwards jump in your odometer reading. But the miles that are showing up here is what your concern is, and these miles should be every truck-driven mile. If you get a negative odometer reading here, like that jump back to 284 something, don't go in this trip and take miles out to make that pretty. That doesn't have to be pretty. That is simply a tool.
Gotcha.
And yeah, if you look and say, oh, that trip was missing 65 Massachusetts miles, and you fix it and it disappears, that's great. But if it was not, leave it there. We don't care.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
It does.
I telling him right, Robin?
Yeah.
Okay. Robin's more of an expert at this than I am. I've done it longer than her, but she has been so nose to the grindstone in this ProMiles stuff for the last, 5 years? 6 years, whatever it is, that she's got it inside out and upside down. She dreams about ProMiles. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, she could tell you about any, and here's another thing. We don't always, ProMiles is not the Bible.
Okay.
It is a poorly written book at times. There are times we go back to ProMiles and go, this is your fault, not ours.
Yeah.
There are so many times ProMiles where your guy's this and your guy's that. And we go, really? Then how come it looks like this over here? And they go, oh. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us look into that because they do have program issues sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know, it's because she is so fine-tooth combing the data and in tune to what goes on with you guys. And we got 60 opcos out there. What goes on out there and what goes on in here, if 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4, she calls them out on it.
Yeah.
Agree.
And so, we don't always say, you all are messing up. Sometimes they go, oh, let's go with ProMiles and see what they've done wrong. Okay, so don't be paranoid. A lot of the opcos, you'll find people are paranoid. If this isn't perfect, Robin and Shirley are going to eat us.
Well, judging by Robin's last email, I thought Rocco was going to visit us here and come with a big bat or something. So I told Alex, I said, listen, stop the emails, pick up the phone.
But, she was just trying to get somebody to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Pay
Yep.
attention. I've asked you about this. What, you're not doing anything. You've not asked me anything. You've not come. If Robin calls you out on something, it's simply we're trying to aid you in spotting things. Or we'll say, hey, we see this. Do you see this?
Understood.
Yeah.
What's wrong here? And if you come back and say, yeah, we see it. It's supposed to be that way. We go, oh, okay.
Yeah, we understand. We apologize. We're going through this transition, and it's not an excuse, and I'm not looking to put an excuse out there. It's just there's a lot going on right now, and it's our busy season, and
We totally understand. And that's why we're here to help all we can. Robin will go in and she will close tiny odometer gaps. If you have a 5-mile odometer gap in there, she's going to put 5 miles in Massachusetts and close that gap.
Okay.
She's going to figure it went somewhere in town or something,
Yep.
So she's going to close that gap. If you have unmatched fuel, so we get down to the end of July, and the next trip hasn't been built yet, well, you'll have some fuel in there that won't match up because it won't match until the next trip starts showing up. So Robin will go in there and click on this and manually, go over to your fuel purchases and go down here and click, 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 and be done. She won't even point it out to you. She's in here and she's like, we do on logic and reasonability.
Nice.
Got
So
it.
if it's logical and it's reasonable, bam, 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 we do it. Then we point out the stuff to you that we kind of sit here and scratch our heads and say, I don't know. We're going to have to ask these guys.
Got it.
Now,
Yeah.
from what I understand, and I don't know, I've been working on quite a few reports, and I'm still a little bit because I've only been in this position myself for 3 weeks, and then so we're both rookies over here in this department pretty much when it comes to all of these reports that we gotta do. Now, there's something I know I've been doing a few reports on Mondays. I don't know if I owe you anything right now. And like I said, I'm sitting over here, and also I'm trying to take care of all the things that that are coming up. What reports do I owe you? Which ones do you need to see from me every Monday? Or what do you need from me every Monday?
The fuel requirement is Wednesday, by end of business Wednesday for the previous week. The previous week being the previous Monday through Friday.
Gotcha.
Because then if you're out on vacation, if we're rolling into a crazy quarter or anything, if the weeks are out of balance because months are longer or shorter or when the month starts or ends or whatever,
Yep.
It still gives ample time for the fuel to hit within the time allotted and leave room for all the edits to be made, any kind of scrutinizing needs to be done, corrections, whatever. Then it gives us room for that. It gives room for you to take a vacation without freaking out over your fuel because when you get back the next week, you can catch it up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, here's the error report we ran for MPGs. This is the one I was telling you. We set the parameters 4 to 7 and see what shows up. So when you go down through here and you're starting to see 9.5, we don't have any diesel engine tractors that are hitting 9.5. That's too close to double digits.
Yeah.
And that's something you probably need to look at. And like this one right here, it has 14.28. Now we got 2170163. So let's go up here and look at this truck. 2170163. And it says 14.3. Well, the big chunk of that is going right down through here where all these other strips are showing up. I told him I'd run it by quarter because we just constantly roll month to month, but they can work it by month if they want to. So I would look here and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 800 miles, and you only took on 95 gallons of fuel. Is there maybe a fueling missing in there?
Okay, that's what I guess that's what I'm trying to understand. Also, like the gallons and stuff like that. How often does the vehicles need to be, on a normal basis? How often they're fueled up and stuff like that.
Just gotta make sure you're putting enough fuel in them that they don't look like they're running on air.
Yeah. Okay, so all those zeros. Do what? No, I was just looking at all those zeros. So I should see more numbers, and rather than all those zeros that I'm seeing there.
Now, there are some opcos that will fuel their trucks. They'll top them off every cotton picking day if it's a tenth of a gallon. I mean, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. But this is a good tool. Just look down through here. You see your MPGs are showing 14.3. You go in here and kind of back these miles out. So we're looking at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 1,500 miles off of that. 1,500. So that leaves you 3514. What's the gallon? 351. 351. So you're looking at 10 miles to the gallon. So that's still a little bit high. That's still a little bit high. So that's where you're going to look right here and say, well, maybe I've got a fueling missing in here somewhere. See, this is a good place to spot it. All right, go down through here. 2, 3, it ran 400 miles. You only took on 17 gallons and it ran 400 miles. Then you ran another 213 on 95. It looks like there might be a fueling missing in right here somewhere.
All right, so once I find that...
Right here you get 100 gallons and you run 300, 400 miles. But up here you get 17 gallons and you run 400 miles. So...
So when I find something like that, okay, so now I get it. I found a mistake. What am I looking for? Am I looking for a fuel receipt? Do I reach out to the drivers and say, where did you fuel up? And then once
Where do you get your fuel? Do you get your fuel on the road?
we have several yards. Like for example, this New Haven, this New Haven, this is one of our drop yards. So these guys are fueling on the road.
Then very, very possibly, if he's fueling on the road, do they have fuel cards?
Yes.
Are you pulling your fuel off of a report from your fuel card company?
Well, that's I've been trying to work on that as well. That this is all brand new stuff to me. But I have been going through the through a fuel receipts, and I've been trying to match every single one of them. So I guess I'm gonna have to find my receipts or those reports, and then come over here and try to match them to this. And that's I guess those are the things that I need to learn to connect.
Chrissy, you mind?
Yeah, to get the report on
Chris, do you get your fuel report on, are y'all on fleet 1?
Say that again?
Are you on fleet 1?
No, we have the where are they? We got the WEX for gas, and then we have the EFS.
Oh, they're still on it. Yeah, oh, yeah. It's not fleet 1, is it?
No, I don't think so. You didn't go to fleet 1, did you?
And this is a WEX company. I don't know if that means anything to you. It's EFS, a WEX company.
Well, you ought to be able to get your fuelings by truck on the report, and that every bit of that you're getting needs to go into ProMiles. Not the gas. Not the gas. The diesel.
Not just the diesel. Understood.
Just the diesel, yeah. And you submit it on a template, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's every bit of what you get on that report that's diesel needs to go, except for trailers. I'm talking about your power units. You don't put trailers on there. But your power units, every bit of that needs to go on your template that you submit to ProMiles to upload into, or people, who they send it to, people that, yeah. Whatever, your template, you submit it, you copy me and Robin, but that goes into a system at ProMiles. They got this little crazy computer that goes in and grabs your little file and chews it up, dices the data up, and then it shoots it back into another system that pulls it into here that starts looking for your fleet criteria, because it'll look for your fleet number by the way you send it in.
Yeah.
You know how you name your file
1718-87,
and it'll look for that 87. Then it's going to go over here and look for this truck number. Then it's going to go look for where you are, the state that you're in. Then it's going to look for the date, and it's going to say, oh, that fuel goes here. And then you're going to see your fuel in there.
Oh.
How about that?
Listen, it's a lot to take on. I guess it's quite a bit. So.
And we do really good until a hamster dies. Then we get a problem. When the hamster's not running in the wheel, the gears aren't turning, and this machine goes nuts.
Yeah.
That's where Robin comes in, because she smacks ProMiles' hands when crap happens. She says, "Hey guys, get with the program." But you can go. See, we also run an unmatched fuel. Have you seen how to do the unmatched fuel?
Can we go through that sequence just in case? I've seen it a few.
You got to go over here to manage fuel.
Yeah.
course, you won't see everything we see because you're not going to see all these other locations. So I'm going to go down here and find your location. Where's he at, Robin? I'm in this store. I'm on 87. Hello. There you are. And you're going to want to do purchases, not in fuel tax trips. And I'm going to change this to July because you're going to see all kinds of crap there. So let's just do July and search. And this is going to give you all of your unmatched fuel. And you can open this bad boy up like this. It's going to open at my other screen. I'll pull it over. Oh, it's not. How about that? It always does. But you can open this up, and it's going to tell you the unit number, the date, the gallons, and this right here tells you what your problem is. See where that says no traveling state?
Yeah.
You guys are in Massachusetts, and this is Massachusetts fuel, but it's saying on this date, this trip for this truck had absolutely no Massachusetts miles. So let's see if we can figure out why it says that. I can't shrink that down, can I? Yes, I can. And what truck are we looking for? 3200. One else. Bam. Okay, let me pull that back up. Where'd it go? Is that it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now see, it's saying on 74320010 had no Massachusetts miles. So when we go down here to your 74 trip and open that, all the miles are New York. How did that truck fuel in Massachusetts? If it was in New York all this time, it didn't go into Massachusetts apparently until down here around 718. So then what you got to figure out is, does that fuel really belong to that truck? Or does that fuel belong to one of these sister units maybe of that truck? What happened? Is that a over-the-road fueling? Did your driver put in a wrong unit number? Is it a wet fueling on site? Did your wet fueler just pick the only unit number they could think of? Does it belong to a different truck? So, 74 and Massachusetts miles. So that one's got fuel on it on 74. That one's got fuel on it on 74. That one has no fuel on 74, but it's all New York miles. That one has no fuel on 74, but I'm sure it's all New York miles too, just based on where it starts and stops. All New York miles. So you have to try to figure out what's happened here. Where does this fuel all belong that says no traveling state? This one says no traveling state, Pennsylvania. So you need to go back and look at that truck, trips on that date, even the day before, day after. Look for the miles to be in that state. And you'll want to look and see, did it have any Pennsylvania miles? Maybe that was supposed to say Massachusetts. Who knows?
Yeah.
So let's go look and see. 3170.
That's the same one with the high, the really high miles.
3170145. And that trip was on 718. On 718. View the trip. Let's check it out. It had Massachusetts miles. I bet that's supposed to say Massachusetts and not Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You want to bet?
Go ahead.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here to this fuel. This unmatched fuel for that truck. 3170145. And we're going to go where it says no traveling state. And we're going to edit this. We're going to go right here. Massachusetts. Where's that other one? Is it this one? No, just change that one. I'm going to go right here, change this one. Because I'm going to guess, without a doubt, that's what the problem is. 3170145, and I changed both those to Massachusetts, and I'm going to go back over here to this truck. And it was on the 18th, right?
Yeah.
Is it the 18th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to the fuel purchases, and now they're going to show up down here. That one says, add the trip. Where'd that other one go, Roman? Oops. Maximum distance. Yeah, we know. We're out this time. We're going to get that fixed. Okay. And so on the 18th, it pulled that fuel in, didn't it? Or did it?
Yeah, that's nice.
There it is. It put that fuel on that trip. See So you got that fuel on that trip. Where'd that other one go that I edited?
$7.25.
On 725. We'll go back over here. And we'll go to 725 and do the same thing. Over here. Match up that fuel. Validate and save. Yeah, we're going to override it. Yeah, we know. Just put it on the trip. So there we go. Now your fuel for 725 is matched up. And this is the stuff that Robin and I do. What I just walked you through. We look at your unmatched, we look at that, and we go, oh, no, this is supposed to be Massachusetts. You can tell that. Blang, 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 and we fix it. I'm going to look at something. Where's Watertown? New York?
That's New York.
Okay. I'm going to go back over here to this where I put this fuel in. Okay, let's go to 718. What is this?
That's gotta be the fuel station in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania.
So that is in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, Mill Hall. It's in. That's what I said. That's what I was doing, but I was getting a little bit confused because I was pretty much doing the same thing, and I was doing all this back and forth, and then and then also I had all these drivers coming in and asking me questions, and I just got really sidetracked, and after a while I wasn't even sure what I was doing. I was like, I need to stop, and I apologize that I have not reached out. I should have.
Well, it's a bunch of analysis and guesswork for us too. See, there's not even any Pennsylvania miles before or after the date. Mm-hmm. That would make me think that you belong to a different trip. Yeah.
And I looked at the guy that I was thinking that was driving, but it looks like he had the one thing that I couldn't verify. On PeopleNet, it showed him driving a particular unit. And I want to say that he was running without PeopleNet. His PeopleNet must have been out for the entire week or whatever. So I couldn't really verify if he was really driving the unit that he was driving on, or if it was, something else, and it was just registering him on that unit and he had something else. So I couldn't figure out what he was driving that day, so I can apply the miles and the gallons to that.
I know it's a lot of work. I know it's very tedious, annoying, obnoxious, whatever you want to call it. But it's federally driven. It's not our internal requirements. It's, we do everything we can to stay under the radar where audits and that kind of thing are concerned. And if we can keep the data, I think they allow you like a 2% margin.
Yeah.
On your miles and fuel stuff before it starts raising red flags or before they start hitting you big with fines. When I first started doing this, Penske was handling all this stuff for us. That it was outsourced, and they even filed mileage reports in the state of Oregon. Zero mileage reports in the state of Oregon, and we have a Vistar and a Roma Opto embedded in Portland.
Yeah.
And I called Penske and I said, "Listen, damn things are hovercraft. This dog won't hunt." I said, "You guys got to figure this out." And they were like, "We're doing the best we can. We're working with what you send us." I said, "Guess what? You're not doing it anymore. We are." And that's when we started really bird dogging all this stuff that's in ProMiles. We started fighting with ProMiles. We started fighting with the opcos and started trying to make it better because we were getting audited every time we turned our heads one direction to the other.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the Oregon opcos were audited like crazy. I had 5 audits in the first 6 months that I sat in this chair.
Oh, wow.
From the IRS. The IRS. And that's not the state audits.
No, that's...
We've had the Oregon audits, and I think there's been 5 of those. But they were back at the very beginning. And we think Oregon, happy little campers. They leave us alone now.
Nice.
And so we try to stay as under the radar as we can, especially, New York did zap us at one point in time. And what was that all over? Was it rental miles or what was it?
Rental miles.
I think that was over rental miles. But they got us one time, and now they've left us alone because we've got that, process kind of smoothed out and got the wrinkles out of it. But it's a crapshoot as to when somebody will decide to hit us again. If we keep growing and keep acquiring these companies and stuff, we're going to get it. It's going to happen. So I hope when it does happen, when they decide to pick this truck, and this truck, it's not the worst truck there is out there on your behalf, on Carroll County's behalf, anybody, because when they zap us with a big fat fine, that fine gets passed to whichever opco's data is the one that triggers what they find and everything, because there's no way for us to comb through it and figure out, okay, you're at fault for these 2 trucks, you're at fault for these 4 trucks. Whatever they hit us with, if they looked at Carroll County's truck that hadn't had any trips in there for the last 12 years, then Carroll County's going to get to eat the fines, and it's going to be bad news.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with that? So
Yeah.
we try to do everything we can to stay under that 2% to the best of our knowledge and ability. And that's why you guys get all the nasty grams from Robin.
That could be worse.
Let's see, I'm going to go back over here and look at this other report that we did. Let's see. Was it this one? Hello? Another report. Robin. Not letting me have it.
Oh, what happened?
It didn't kick me out, did it? Wait a minute. Do I need to... No, I closed the other report.
If there's anything else down there, we'll hear it. Thanks. Lock.
This?
No, it's over.
Over this way?
No, we're right up.
That one?
There you go.
Okay. There it is. This is the gap report that we ran where we said we want to know if there's any gaps in the odometers.
Yep.
When it has these little minuses, that's what you got to fix. That is telling you, of course, we've only got one right now that's in the month of July, and that's what we're working on. So
Okay.
if you go over here and scroll down to this truck, where is it, Robin? Is it at the top?
What is it?
The SF truck? What is that?
Probably a rental.
Is that a portable unit?
No, they're all of our units are mounted on. I believe we have one portable unit, and I want to say
This SFC 172, is that a portable PeopleNet unit?
maybe I want to say those are the trucks that we have out in the Watertown area, and
I'd say this SFC 172 is a portable PeopleNet unit that is not actually assigned to a truck.
yeah,
If you have put it in a regularly operating truck and it's not a rental unit, we need to know what that is. Whenever you put these portable units in a truck, we do not track rental mileages. We do not report on rental trucks because they are in and out on a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever basis, and there's no way for Robin and I to know whether we're getting them all or not. And with the opcos scattered like they are, they may have a truck go down, they run and grab a rental. They don't tell us.
yeah, and
We
that
don't track that. We let the rental companies deal with that and the fuel tax billings to you on those rental mileages. We don't do that.
yeah,
So if you're taking this PeopleNet unit and it's a portable and you're sticking it in a rental truck, for some reason we're showing some sort of gaps here that's generating for the month of July, which I could probably find, couldn't I?
Yeah, I'm just typing that number. What is it?
SFC 172?
Yeah, go to the all units.
Oh, do I have to do that? Hang on. Let me go up here. SFC 172.